Is this heaven?
No, it's a podcast. Welcome to the Field of Geeks podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 119 of the Field of Geeks podcast.
Dang.
I'm Josh, and I'm Batman.
I'm Megan, and I'm Batman.
I'm Joey, and I'm Batman.
No. I'm David, and I'm Batman.
Yeah. Got a lot to talk about today, of course. We're going to start off with, first let me break it down. We're going to be talking difference between comics and sports, if there really is one. Mm-hmm. Ben Affleck, Batman.
Who's that?
Who's that?
Who is he?
He's just a little actor. I think he's played Batman a couple times.
Oh, cool.
Batfleck.
Very Batman-heavy show today. Also,
Good.
WB, DC films, and we'll review the Hobbs and Shaw trailer. So
We'll review it.
well,
10 out of 10. Too late.
I think Joey's looking forward to it. I'm not quite sure.
I am looking forward to it. It's going to be great.
But yeah, let's kick it off with
Dun.
comics and sports. What's really the difference? After Stanley's passing, Bill Maher, he wasn't too kind with Stan in his work, and of course to the comic book fans, basically saying that they need to grow up and they're kind of part of the problem.
Yeah.
Peter David, who's a comic book writer, he responded in kind this week after Maher again insulted Lee's legacy and comic book fans. This is just a little bit of what he wrote on Twitter. He said, Bill Maher has informed us, both on Twitter and again last night, that comic books are for kids and that fans of them are basically stunted individuals who are unable to accept adulthood. Fans love to argue. They gather in large crowds, sometimes numbering over 50,000. They pay ridiculous entry fees to get in, and many of them dress up like their favorites. In the places where they gather, they cheer on their respective faves, chant together, eat and hang together, then buy a ton of merchandise, dropping hundreds of dollars at a time, and if they're lucky, they'll get autographs and go home happy. On rare occasions, they even attend parades dedicated to the heroes. And that's just Met fans, he says. Bill Maher himself profits off of the Mets. He bought a share back in 2012. So,
He's a nerd.
Yeah.
Can't grow up.
And he said in all of these games, they involve balls. Isn't that interesting? Large ones, small ones. They get bounced on or hit, thrown. Balls, which are, as you know, one of the favorite toys of babies. Maher never accuses sports fans of being juvenile, overgrown children. Neil Gaiman pointed out, if you have stories told via words alone, that's books in the realm of adults. Have pictures by themselves, and that's art, and also for adults. The moment you combine words and pictures, assholes believe that makes it entertainment. He said a lot more, of course.
Right. That's
Yeah.
enough. That's a book right there.
Yeah, I know. I didn't want to read all that, but I thought it was important. So, yeah, basically, if you look at it, there's not a big difference between a comic book fan and a sports fan.
No.
There really isn't. They're both obsessed with what they like.
Yeah.
So much so that they'll break their TVs and
Or fight.
Oh yeah.
they'll fight, burn their merchandise because they're boycotting it.
Yeah. I've never.
I spent my
I've
money.
never-
I'm going to burn what I own.
That'll show them.
Yeah. I've never seen a Spider-Man fan and a Batman fan throw down. I've never seen comic book fans fight. I've just heard them discuss.
Because we can't.
Well, but
We're weak.
however,
Not me, though.
I've watched parents at kids' sporting events get violent.
Yeah. It just happened this weekend.
Yeah.
Like two
So-
moms got kicked out of a basketball game.
So
Where were you?
I wasn't live. It was on the internet. It was on the interwebs. Okay, if I say I saw it this weekend, it was probably on Twitter.
Oh, okay.
So, and I don't know if you want to consider wrestling a sport. It doesn't matter to me. But I used to work with a guy. He passed
pro
away.
wrestling?
Yeah.
Sports entertainment, yeah.
I worked with a guy recently. He recently passed away of a heart attack. Mikey, may you rest in peace. But to sit and listen to him talk about wrestling was like, it's literally, from the point of view of a child, he was so into it and he loved it so much. And if you stop and see some of these, go to Comic-Con, some of these people put so much time into their costumes. There is no difference. Mm-hmm. The difference is somebody's sitting down and you're reading a book or watching a movie, and another guy is watching a TV or watching it live. Both are paying large amounts of money for merchandise. Both are reading and memorizing vast amounts of knowledge on their teams,
avoiding
or on
their family,
all that stuff. There really is no difference.
Yeah, stomping, punching.
My thoughts
Drinking.
are like when Bill Maher or whatever, I don't know how to say his name. Who cares? He's a piece of shit.
Moron,
Bill
Bill
Maher.
Moron.
Bill Moron. When he says this stuff, he's not only like grouping together and like demeaning an entire fan base of like comic book fans, whatever, but like there are people that these stories actually affect, like people like amputees. They relate to Cyborg because he lost most of his body.
Yeah.
He's mostly machine, but he uses that to his advantage. There are people who are, you know, like there's so many disabilities that people have that they can relate to these heroes, but he's negating that because he wants to make a point by saying that what we're babies? Is that what he was saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's whatever.
That we haven't grown.
It's not. Yeah. It's not
we
even
don't
just
have successes basically.
Or Oracle. She started off as Batgirl and was paralyzed, and she's bound to a wheelchair. She's still a hero. She's still, you know, still helps fight crime. That's got to, you know, there's got to be kids out there who are wheelchair bound, who, you know, who can see that and be like, you know, I'm still worth something.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so there's really not a big difference. It's just funny how, you know, I don't think comic fans ever put down sports fans. It's always the other way around.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I see it.
Well, they always assume like I'll get it at work. People don't think I watch sports. I'm like, I played football for 10 years.
Yeah.
I know sports. I like
Yeah.
sports, but it's also not the most important thing. Like you can love it, sure. And it's the same thing with it's like with pro wrestling or whatever. Like if you grow up with it and you like learn to love it, that's fantastic. But not everybody has the same amount of love for something that you might.
Right.
Or, you know, you can't, or you're Bill Maher and you love nothing except for money and I don't know.
Well, he's profiting
Putting everything
off
down.
a child's game.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what that is. That's what baseball is. Sorry, but that's true. I mean, if you're going to call what we like that.
It's America's pastime for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the end of the day, it's a game.
Right.
It's like, you know, and they always say, well, it's just meant for fun. I don't know. They get paid $10 million just to be there.
Guys who sit on the bench make more than I do a year.
I wish I could do that just for fun. Honestly, that'd be so much fun. Oh my God.
Yes.
I wouldn't have to do anything else.
I would love, for just 3 years, I'd love to just get paid to sit on a bench on any sports team. And then
You know
I
how
would
much a backup makes? Like more than like $5 million, I think.
Jeez.
Yeah.
And then if you're on the practice squad, it's like 10,000, something like that. I don't know.
Wow.
I have no idea. But it's like it's a crazy amount.
Plus,
of
you get
money.
to see the world or the country at least.
Yeah, you travel all around.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't get it, but I think that, you know, that's a good point. All of that being said, it's odd that he's just showing his age, I guess. But even
Is
people
it,
his age
though?
know the difference.
Is it odd? Because
Is it odd that he's shown his age?
No, that he runs his mouth and says the things that
No,
he says.
I guess
He's not all that odd.
I think
yeah.
a lot of people are starting to just tune out.
You know, and I
It's
used to
like-
be a huge fan of his.
I did too.
Like
I did
the
too.
Real Time
but
with Bill
that
Maher.
was,
Yeah.
insult Stanley like that and say basically
Something
he didn't
happened.
do any good with his work. I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't
he
agree with
pushed
that.
limits
Yeah.
and stuff like that. He did do good.
If you look at it from like the most basic point of view, it's like he really just put any word in front of man and made it work. Like there's a wall man. It's like who would read that? A lot of people read Wall Man. Not like millions. Not as many people as read Spider-Man, but like people read these man comics and it turned into woman comics and it turned into like these team up comics that everybody could relate to and, you know,
Or like the X-Men, you know, take civil
Oh,
rights,
yeah.
adapt it to mutants.
Yeah.
You know, being different and.
but
yeah.
no, we're just nerds. We don't know anything.
I will say this.
We're not adults.
that you never ever hear about comic book writers or artists beating their wives or going out and speeding and killing people. However, football players,
Well, they
and
don't have
baseball,
head injuries, so that's probably why.
football players, and you hear about all these football players and stuff. They do all these terrible things. However, that's obviously for adults. So I assume that that's what it means to be an adult. I'm going to stick with my comics and my video games, and I'm just going to be a child.
Yeah, exactly. So there basically is no difference, I think. I think that's safe to say.
But there's also no getting through to him. He's really just like...
No, I know.
No, he makes a living off
this
putting
point-
everybody down.
At this point, he doesn't care about, like... He probably does think, okay, comics mean something, but I got to stand my ground. I don't want to be embarrassed. People see me as this loser now, which we won't, because I don't care. Just learn your lesson. That's the big thing about if you get called out in any sort of circumstance, like, just learn your lesson. If you're willing to learn the lesson, I can respect you so much more.
Right.
I can be like, I still don't like your show, but I respect you because you were willing to like own up to the mistake you made, and just...
Well, that's how this ends from Peter David. Is he says he needs to educate himself.
Yeah.
And that's what he's not doing. He's not, and I think that's what his goal is with his show anyway, is to, not to say he's a teacher, but he is trying to get the word out about politics and stuff. So it's like, you should do that with comics. It seems very strange, like in the world we live in, he thought that was okay to do, to put down comic book fans. It's like, go out there and read all these people they've gotten through tough times. And in fact, Paul Dini, he got brutally beaten back in the 90s, and he wrote a comic just recently to address it and kind of come to grips of what he went through.
He thanked Arlene Sorkin, who played the original Harley Quinn. He thanked his wife for getting rid of those demons that he had. And at the same time, like, I think he wanted publicity, by doing it, because he said it right around when Stan died, right?
Yeah.
So he
right away.
He very much just wanted publicity,
and I think
he capitalized on it,
right?
And I understand what he was doing.
Yeah, it worked.
But at the same time, that's a shitty thing to do, and I'm not,
burn a lot of bridges. And he came back after a hideous after the backlash and gave.
Yeah, you don't have that many bridges
put
left,
more
man.
fuel on the fire,
you're gonna be an
basically.
island soon.
How
You're gonna
many?
sink.
I believe it.
My question is because by insulting comic
good
fans,
analogy. I like that
you're in a way you're also insulting the actors who play the characters that we all love. So how many? I'm curious on how these actors feel about what he said. If any of them actually step forward and voice their opinion about him.
I haven't really seen any Twitter.
I'm really
comments.
saying,
They're better than us. They don't waste their time with him.
Yeah, that's true.
Right, that's true. Yeah, it's like, I was going to be on your show. I'm not anymore. So
I just took that hint.
what?
They don't waste their time with him.
No, but they don't have podcasts to talk about these topics.
Right.
We
Yeah.
can very much just...
This is how we
I
vent.
just feel like I
Yeah.
have to keep my mouth shut when you're around.
Why? Hey, you called me a piece of shit, not the other way around. I don't know. Pile of shit, that's what it was.
No, I wouldn't have brought this
That's
up
right.
again if it hadn't been for Peter David's Twitter
Rebuttal.
I thought that was really
that's
good.
good.
It put everything out there on Front Street.
I just hope that this is like a bookend. I don't want to hear any more outcries if Bill Maher says something else. It's like, okay, we've exhausted everything else. We've tried to reason
Unless
with him.
Robert Downey Jr. went down to his
Yeah.
office and punched him, I'm gonna bring it up again. That would be so.
If he
cool.
that'd be great. But seriously,
yeah, no, I get
know.
it.
I'm not gonna exhaust. We've tried to reason with him.
Yeah.
We're not gonna seek legal whatever against him. It's just whatever. I'm done with him.
Yeah.
We don't negotiate with terrorists.
This week we got some news that a lot of people have been calling for years.
Oh yeah, I saw those tweets.
I avoided
awesome.
all
That was really cool.
All the people I knew were gonna be like, I told you.
I saw this coming. I called this 2 years ago. Really? That's cool.
Yeah.
I said I would get a haircut 2 years ago. That doesn't mean anything.
You still haven't gotten the haircut. Okay.
I promised.
I got
very
a
long.
cut.
It's very long.
promised
Not
to
just
trim my
one.
beard
Oh,
2 years
multiple.
ago.
Multiple hairs.
I'll get around to it eventually.
Affleck appears to be out.
Appears. We're not sure.
And I'm with you. He tweeted he's excited for the Batman summer 2021 to see Matt Reeves' vision come to life. He also attached a Deadline Hollywood article titled "The Batman to Fly Summer 2021." Ben Affleck passed the torch to the next generation of Bruce Wayne. So I'm still hopeful, like I'm sure you are, that he could return.
We gotta get Megan in this.
We will.
She gotta give her two pieces.
I'm actually hoping that the Batman or whatever this movie is going to be a prequel. I mean, they hinted toward it to explain what happened to the mansion and stuff. So I'm hoping it will be a younger Batman, and that's why it's not Affleck.
It makes the most sense. Like if they said they want to go the younger route, and it's like, okay. To me, that only makes sense if Ben Affleck, he's not in it. He's not in this movie. That makes total sense because it's about younger Batman. But that's not to say that he's not going to be in the future movies.
Right.
See, and
And that's what I think too.
And what they stated in, what was it, Batman versus Superman, that Ben Affleck is a Batman who's been doing this for 20 years.
Yep.
So if you get somebody younger for the future movies, it's not going to make any sense.
Right.
Not that movie made a whole lot of,
It's not going to fit in the continuity. And
Yeah.
But at the same time, if this does mean that he's out or whatever, this doesn't give me hope for Ray as Cyborg or Ezra.
It doesn't?
Does not. Because, like, if they're willing to do away with their biggest staple of a character, like, I mean, I know Aquaman just hit $1 billion, or over $1 billion.
And you have Wonder Woman.
And Wonder Woman. I think those are the only two safe characters as of right now.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I got this news the other night, like about 20 minutes after it broke, and just it didn't really hit me for a while. It was weird because like
still don't see it being, and I know I could be reading into it like we all have done before, but just the way it's all phrased, it doesn't seem like he's like, I am done with Batman. Yeah. If that's what they wanted to establish, I think he would have just came out and said it. I loved being Batman. Thank you for everything.
Yeah. And I mean that the family, like the Justice League family, is so close because like I follow most of them on like Instagram and Twitter and stuff. I feel like at least one of them would have said something, and I haven't heard anything from any of them. Right. And that could just be like the, WB wanting to keep it private or something, but it's like at the same time, well, if he doesn't work for them anymore, why does it have to keep private?
Well, and Jason Momoa, I think he said Cavill's still Superman. I think he came out and said that.
Yeah, during the Aquaman.
Which I buy that. But
yeah.
What are your thoughts, Megan? I know you're bummed out by possibility of Affleck not being.
I asked her to just let us mourn this week.
Yeah, I said I would be sensitive to it. But I'll be sensitive to your feelings.
Oh, okay.
But I am excited. If he does stay on, I don't think he'll play Batman. He might have some other role, whether he's writing or producing or directing or whatever it is.
Oh, you think
Affleck?
he might
I
be
don't-
involved with
yeah.
He is producing.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
and I did
that's-
read that Matt Reeves had written like 160 pages worth of a script, and he's like trying to narrow it down now, and that they were thinking about putting like Josh Gad in as Penguin. Is that how you say his last name? Gad?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Which I think would be
No,
cool.
it's Penguin.
Penguin. No, stop it. See, you do that, and then I. So I'm excited to see who our contenders are. I can tell you who I would like to see play Batman.
Go for it. Brad Pitt.
No.
Zac Efron.
So when
That's what I've heard all through Twitter. I'm like, shut
Really?
up. Yeah. it's
Oh,
gross.
the youngest Jonas brother. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
on Facebook, I said like, sit down.
Bye.
Sit down.
Go ahead. Sorry.
and now that I think about it, because we're going back, so it's going to be a younger Bruce Wayne. Okay, so Ben Affleck probably couldn't play him.
Casey Affleck.
Well, he could
But
say
if I had it my way, Cillian Murphy would play Batman. And there's a fun fact about that, because when he tried out, he actually tried out to play Batman for
I've
Christopher
seen
Nolan.
the
Yeah.
footage, yeah.
And then he's like, no, and then he made him Scarecrow. So,
Maybe that's the twist at the end of Batman. He's like, I'm not Batman, I'm Scarecrow.
but we have to say that he was a good Scarecrow, right? We all agree that
I like that.
he
Yeah, I
was
think he was-
phenomenal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
Here's a good part about Rises, I thought.
Oh,
Go out
yeah.
to the ice.
I feel like, I don't want to get into that. Never mind. I was going to say, like, each character was good in that universe. But
Well, that whole, everything he did with that was amazing.
it was good.
That's my favorite.
Yeah.
It's going to depend on who they cast, I think, as this younger Batman. If it looks like Affleck, then that gives me, that
There's
makes
so
me
much,
think he's coming
there's so
back.
much crap going around, though.
I know.
Like,
So that's the problem, is you don't know what's real, what's not.
but
And
it's just like
Yeah.
like the fan casts. Like, people are casting
Army Hammer.
Army Hammer. Army Hammer would probably be the strongest.
He was
candidate
going
for
to
me.
be Batman.
It's fine.
Long ago. Yeah.
I'd rather have him as Green Lantern, which everybody would, but like
Or Chris-
also
Kid Chris
James Marsden. But there's like the guy who plays Jon Snow. I can't remember his name right now. It's Kit. Something.
Kit Harington.
That's the one. The people are saying him. Nick Jonas said he would want to, and it's like, haha, bye. Zac
I would
Efron.
agree with that. I don't like that idea either.
No, he has
Imagine
not proven
You just
anything.
imagine come up to the door. I'd like to be Batman. Bye. Just slam the
Matt
door.
Reeves is like, ha ha ha, see ya. Trick or treats next month. But he doesn't he's not proven anything to me. Like what has he been in? Jumanji?
And he wasn't terrible.
He wasn't
but
terrible,
that's
but
not-
I'm like,
that's not
I didn't look at him
Batman to
like,
me.
oh my god, Batman.
That's Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, and like other people said, like the kid who plays Bruce Wayne on Gotham. I'm like, no, okay, nobody's understanding. Like, it's so weird to me how
Tom Welling. Come on.
Welling,
Whatever.
he is willing, but he what? He probably is.
Play on words.
Thank you. I don't know. I just like I saw a list of them, and all of them were awful. I'm like, this is stupid. Let the dust settle a little bit. We just got it less than a week ago. Let us like deal.
Let you be hurt.
Let me be hurt. So like I know you're not going to agree with this.
It's okay.
And this is more. I feel like this is more than just my opinion. Ben Affleck has been the best Bruce Wayne and Batman we've gotten on screen. Not saying Bale's crappy. I liked what Bale did because it fit in that universe. But if we're going for comic book accuracy of Bruce Wayne and Batman, it made the most sense. The killing,
Oh my God, somebody who I agree with.
thank you. The killing, I can understand where some people got lost in it, but you also have to understand again, like you said, 20 years in Gotham. He's been doing this for 20 years. Lost a Robin. Now comes this flying alien who he has no idea. He has no idea what to do with, and then he also has to deal with Lex Luthor, who's just like, okay, I get another billionaire. That's awesome. That's so cool. It blows my mind that some people don't look at Ben Affleck as the perfect Bat. He looks like he was born to play Batman, especially when he got into shape and like he was doing that whole like workout scene and stuff. And again, this is not crapping on. Like I love Keaton. You know, I watched Batman and Robin so many times when I was younger that
I was like,
Clooney.
please stop.
I look at Clooney and I'm like, he was the worst, sure.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed what he was doing because it was so goofy that I was just like, oh my God, this is dumb, and I love it.
Yeah.
Again, it's not crapping on any other Batman or Batmen that will soon.
They were basically stepping stones to get to greatness.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure. No, that's not sarcasm.
Okay.
No.
Michael Keaton for that dark gothy Batman,
Tim Burton. Yeah.
Tim Burton style Batman, Michael Keaton was it. I mean, he was. And same with Jack Nicholson for the Joker. Wonderful.
He gave me confidence as a kid,
There you
Michael
go.
Keaton, because I was like, look at Bruce Wayne. He's got a fro. So do I.
So, and then you go into someone, and so someone took the idea. Well, what if Batman happened in our world? What would it look like? So now we have the Christian Bale Batman. Once again, phenomenal. He did a wonderful job. And now, in my opinion, we're taking, and I assume this is supposed to be really close to the 52 universe. We're taking a Batman who's been around for 20 years. You know, he's not going to be young. He's not going to be super in shape. He's going to do whatever he has to do to get the job done. And I've got to say, I really like Ben Affleck. I'm not a fan of his work normally. I really like him as Batman, as this Batman. My wife is all up in arms. You should have brought back Christian Bale. No. Christian Bale was good for that style, for that world.
Yeah.
In my opinion, Ben Affleck is great as this Batman, and he makes a wonderful Bruce Wayne.
Christian Bale barely beat Bane. If we can look back at Dark Knight Rises, he barely beat Bane. What's he going to do against Superman or Doomsday? That's just I don't know. But like again, like you said, it works in that universe.
Yeah.
Like if like Nolan literally was going for a realistic Batman, what if Batman existed in our world? That makes the most sense. Absolutely.
I think it's a generational thing too. You know, so most of us in this room grew up with Michael Keaton or you, George Clooney. So, or both, maybe. Well, it was
and also
both.
Christian
It was
Bale. I
both.
mean, that came out when
Yeah.
the first one came out when I was in 5th grade, and we saw that, and I had gone like every midnight showing since.
No, yeah, all those other Batmans were learning curves basically. We got a taste of the gothic, we got a taste of the realism, and then now we kind of want this like Marvel's embracing all these supernatural things, and we want that now. Like you couldn't have a Mr. Freeze in the Nolan verse, but you can where they're going now. And I'm excited about that, and I think they'll tackle it. But
If they end up doing it, no, I mean, I think whatever villain they end up doing, they're going to be able to do like the comic stuff, you know.
Yes.
And they've learned from, you know, like you said, like Batman and Robin, they learned from that Mr. Freeze. It's like, okay, he can be a very campy villain if we're not careful.
Right.
So let's make it like, you look at the Joker, he's a clown, but they still make him the most menacing villain that Batman's ever had because he's so like just scary and like a sociopath. He doesn't care about, you know, anything. He'll kill whatever.
I think the only thing that he holds true is he's not going to side with another country. He's strictly an American psychopath,
Right.
Which he proved in the crossover with when he turned on Red Skull in the comics.
Turned on who?
And there was a DC Marvel crossover.
Oh yeah.
For a while, he worked for Red Skull until he found out Red Skull was Nazi, and he was like, "No, I might be a deranged lunatic, but I'm an American deranged lunatic."
He's got
smoking a cigar.
he's got morals.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got one moral. That's
moral.
it.
Yeah, but that's, that's my 2 cents. It sucks that he's not going to be in this one. I would love to have seen. I mean, he didn't get a standalone, and his last shot was his last movie was kind of like a fart in the wind. Like he was in Justice League, and you're just like, oh, so that's going to be, as of right now, that's his last movie, and it's like that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
And people are saying like, oh, this will be one of my last points. I saw someone say, you're not a true Batman fan if you're getting like all upset about Ben Affleck leaving. I think it said I loved Michael Keaton, and then I had to grow into Christian Bale, and at some point I learned to love Christian Bale, and I'm like, yeah, but Christian Bale also got a send off. He got a proper closure. He got proper closure to his movies. That's great. We didn't really get anything. They were just starting this. They were starting this universe, and then what happens?
Right.
They make a crappy movie, and they make Batman into this like punching bag, pretty much. Which like Superman was probably going to do that to him regardless. Like kind of just beat the crap out of him a little bit.
Yeah,
I get that, but you make him into this like joke machine, which I mean the entire movie was a joke, but. Yeah, and like, you're not a true Batman fan? Shut the hell up. What do you know about being a true Batman fan?
Yeah, they just want to...
Like, there's no textbook definition.
Basically, I think.
And like, if you truly love a character, it's going to be hard to let go of that character.
Yeah.
What character... Like, what actor has been either fired or quit a movie, like a huge character like this? What actor has done that in the past with as far as comic book movies go? I've been trying to think all week, and I can't.
Yeah.
Because like Keaton sure didn't return for like
he didn't return
the
because
third or fourth one.
Burton didn't. The
third
one.
Yeah.
Burton didn't return.
Yeah.
He quit. Yeah. So he was like, I'm
and
not
you watch
doing-
Returns, and it's just like that felt like a good, it felt like a chapter in a book that got closed, and that's great. And now we can go on to Kilmer. Oh, what the hell's going on? No wonder he didn't return. Oh, Clooney's in it. He's not going to return, and he didn't because they made it bad.
They turned it into a comedy.
They wanted to sell toys. That's what Joel Schumacher
and,
said. They actually wanted to
and they
sell
twisted the
toys.
characters all out. Like, I'm sorry, Bane is not some mindless destroyer.
No.
He's intelligent.
And to that point, with all the bad stuff about Batman and Robin, Bane looked damn good.
No, yeah.
He looked so great, and then he talked, and you're like, damn it.
Yeah. Yeah,
We were so close. I was so close to just loving one part about this movie. And again, I love it because it's so dumb.
Yeah.
But then it's just like, oh, what are they? Why did this happen? Who let this happen?
WB.
Yeah. And also, like, it's just another, yeah, it was WB trying to please what they think the fans want. And look, here we are, 20 years or 10 years later, and it's all over again. They
put everything out there for when it, came out, and any negativity, they panicked.
When they have bad PR.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were rumors flying every other week about Affleck being out. And then Cavill, that swept before anybody could say anything. That was like number 2 on trending on Twitter. I woke up to it, said Cavill's out. Like, whoa, who said this? It's like, oh, the Hollywood Reporter, whatever. It's like, that doesn't mean anything to me. They said reports are saying.
Unless they actually say it, basically.
Who are reports? Whose reports? Who is your source? Is it WB? If it's not, then I don't care.
It's someone they know within WB.
And it's
It's the janitor who scrubs the toilet
Yeah.
in the third floor bathroom.
my mom works at WB, and she told me that Superman, he's gone.
He walked out of the building.
Yeah, it's just so much trying to appease not only the blogger, like the critics, but also like these bloggers that are trying to run these stories. There was one news source about the whole Batman Beyond dilemma this week. They pushed the Batman Beyond story as like saying like it's being made, like WB's developing a animated Batman Beyond, and then 2 hours later the head of it, he came out and said, oh, the rumor mill is flying, false reporting, they're like nobody's doing a good job, there's no Batman Beyond movie. And then he reported it. It's like, but you just reported it from your news source or from your like whatever your website that it was happening, and then you got on the case of everybody else, of every other website saying that this movie was happening. And these critics and bloggers have, and again, I'm going on a rant. I understand. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
All right.
they're becoming such personalities that they feel like they
know things.
They feel like they're celebrities.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like they get to go to the premieres and they get to have first dibs on. Just saw Aquaman, can't talk about it. And it's like, why would you say anything then? You just talked about it. You know we're going to ask you questions. And then they get all like high and mighty. It's like, oh, I'm a Marvel shill. Tell me where my paycheck is from Marvel. It's like, shut up. You know what you're doing. Like you're playing and there are some people who say that and they're not being paid by Marvel. They're running their own stuff. Again, they become such celebrities now that they think they run the news. And I get that they run the news, but they think that they can shape these narratives and decisions. And it's like, well, maybe people saw that and they're like, oh, maybe people don't want Affleck back in. We'll have to see, have to wait and see. And finally, Affleck is tired of seeing all this crap going on. And I don't blame him for leaving. I'm sad that he's apparently leaving. I'm still not 100% sure.
I mean, it's really in a way he's leaving the Batman Matt Reeves project, if you will. That's how I see it. I mean, that's the thing. It really made me mad after BVS came out. They do all these memes and stuff, and I know you can't control all that stuff. And I personally think Affleck kind of phoned it in Justice League, but for many reasons, he's going through.
Well, it was the reshoots.
Right. But also, I don't blame him for not really maybe being inspired. Because
I think
all the negativity.
Well, all the negativity, but also I think there was like a sabotage movement going on within the cast of the heroes, at least. Like none of them really performed all that well. You could in the reshoots, like you can tell the reshoots were just like they seem like they're bored or like they're saying the lines. They seem like they're doing like a run through. And they just want it to be over. Yeah.
That quite possibly could be. Maybe it's...
Because they got other things to do.
Yeah.
Well, they probably don't have a lot of time to rest.
Well, and they could be, they do the original scene. They're like, man, that was great. I love this part of the story.
Zach's telling the story how he wants it to.
Yeah.
Well,
he's making it look so good.
They signed on for that vision, too.
Yeah. And then somebody else comes in. They're like, oh, that's your vision?
Yeah.
It's like, hey, say this brunch joke. That's going to be great.
All right. Yeah, sure. Whatever.
What?
Give me a fucking break. Give me a break, honestly.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's just like...
If Aquaman didn't do well, I'd be very concerned right now with this news. But I'm hopeful because it seems, even though WB and DC, they've really messed things up, they're rolling out more films. So
no, absolutely.
It's working.
Absolutely.
I just hope, like you said, the PR they need to fix that.
Yeah.
And I almost think if the first few films were more profitable, that when they did this Reeves movie, maybe they would have de-aged Affleck because they would have wanted to put the money into it.
Yeah.
I personally would have dug that. I thought that'd be really cool.
Last couple things I'll say.
Yeah,
Sorry. One, you said the memes that came out for BVS, the whole Martha thing. I'm not trying to be all high and mighty. I understood exactly what was going on in that moment. It might just because it's so easy to joke about the whole Martha thing.
It's easy to joke about that and DC, period.
People love dragging DC.
Right.
They can't talk about Marvel without talking about DC.
Yeah.
They can't talk about that King Arthur movie that came out with Charlie Hunnam. They said it was like a boring, like Zack Snyder fantasy. You're gonna bring Zack Snyder into this? It's a Guy Ritchie movie. What does Zack Snyder have to do with it?
Right.
The whole Martha fiasco. People lost their minds. But it makes sense. This guy this alien that Batman is about to murder says a word that shakes Batman out of this funk. That's saying like, oh my God, I'm Joe Chill. I am the guy with the gun right now. Mm-hmm. What am I doing? Right. Why? This is not what I signed up. This is not why I became Batman. We all know like Robert Downey Jr. had his whole past with like drugs and everything.
Yeah.
No one apart from like some douchebag reporter like 4 or 5 years ago brought it up in in an interview.
Yeah, I remember.
You remember that? And
yep.
Robert Downey Jr. walked out. Mm-hmm. Great. I was happy he did that. It made sense. That's so unheard of that anybody talks about that anymore. But they'll bring up Ben Affleck's drinking problem every day. Mm-hmm. Talk about he looks terrible. Why? He's not going to be Batman. He's out of shape. Mm-hmm. He looks drunk. He's going through shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got stuff that he's dealing with, but you're dragging him through the mud.
Yeah.
But you want to do that to, Robert Downey Jr., saying he has a past because he's grown from that. Mm. He's learned from that. This guy's still trying to learn. And it's you bastards who are driving him to it.
Yeah.
Do you want to be sober and listen to all this shit people saying, "Oh, he ruined the movie. He's terrible." Blah blah blah. I'll admit I wasn't a huge fan of like. But right when he got cast, I was like, "Oh, Ben Affleck, Daredevil, Ben Affleck."
I wasn't either. No.
Yeah.
But then I said, "Wait, Ben Affleck, Argo Ben Affleck, The Town Ben Affleck. Maybe this makes sense." He got into shape. You saw him in that suit. I'm like, Ben Affleck. Hell yeah. That makes so much sense. You saw him like, I saw like set photos of, I think it was when he was rescuing that girl from the falling debris or whatever. He was in that vest. He had the slightly gray hair. I was like, yeah, why haven't we done this before?
Right.
This is so great.
Yeah.
But then I don't know. Like I said before, I'm shaking right now. Sorry, by the way, for all you listeners, I'm shaking right now because I'm just so in awe of the people who were so like.
I get it.
Like I get if you were against him at first, but then you see it and you're just like, "Whoa, this is perfect." And I get it. A lot of people said like he was the best part of BVS, which that's another topic for another day.
There's just a lot of toxicity towards him.
Yeah.
I don't like that. It's all because I think, to be fair, when he was blown up in his career, he probably got a little cocky, but he learned from it and he recovered and he became a great director.
Absolutely.
He was clearly on a very successful path. For him
He won
to
Best Director. Like a year before. Wasn't it like a year before?
I don't know if it was Best Director, but...
Or did Argo win Best Movie or something?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what it was.
It did, yep.
But the movie that he made.
You could have stayed on that path and been very successful, but yet he's like, I see some greatness here. I'm gonna go back to, and I'm gonna be Batman. I mean, that's
how many people can say that?
Right.
And I feel like I'm gonna be a good Batman, and he was the best Batman we've ever seen. I'm not saying like 10 years down the road we could get a new like best Batman yet. I'm not saying that can't happen.
Well, he's just another.
But as of right now,
it's
like and also like as of right now, again, it's the latest Batman we've had, but it's also like I feel like it's a collection of all the Batman we've wanted. Like animated series, you put him next to a board of Bruce Wayne in the animated series, like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Did they draw him from that, or did someone make him in the lab from this?
Right. To go back to your Martha thing, I don't think it was a dead horse because you could take that so many ways. Like you could say I'm just stupid and wasn't aware of this, but when he said that, I was like, oh my god, their mothers have the same name. I didn't even know that. That was cool to me.
Yeah.
But him inflicting pain or killing Superman would harm Martha because she would lose a son, or of course she was also kidnapped. So he either didn't, he didn't want another Martha to die or be pained, basically. So that was another thing I thought was. I'll
admit, I never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm one of the people that made fun of it.
And rightfully so.
But however, now that you
of.
Point that out, that makes complete sense because Batman doesn't kill. And normally, and here he was about to take somebody's life, and that snapped. Yeah, so that makes a lot of sense.
And on the surface, I totally get why you would make fun of it because it's just like, really that? But it's like he could have said anything. He standing on him with this rock that he also didn't know what kryptonite was. Kryptonite had been around a week, and he was like, "Why is this hurting me? What is this?" What does he say? He says Martha. He doesn't say stop. He doesn't say don't kill me. He doesn't say pineapple. He says Martha.
Right. Yeah.
And if you're standing over someone, they say, and they say that, and you're just like, why did you just say Martha? And you're just having, and like you could see that internal battle he's having. It's like, why? Where am I? What's going on? Right. I would feel like I'm tripping. I'd be like, am I on drugs right now? Why did you say Martha? And then Lois comes in, and is like, it's his mom's name. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Well,
Mom?
He's probably also already conflicted what he's doing in a way. I think deep down inside he's like, this isn't right, but I got to do it. And then, all those things take part.
In a sense, it humanized Superman. Well, he's got a mother. Well, crap. Well, So, I'll admit, I've got a lot of problems with Batman versus Superman.
Yeah, I still do. Sure.
But however, that really changed the way I looked at that scene. So and I have to agree with you. I think that we've had 2 movies and an appearance by Ben Affleck. I think if you really want to be done with him, then we need to give him a proper send off. Give us an actual movie.
I would have been more happy with if they went the Justice League 2 route and he got killed off like in the comics where Darkseid kills him, like with the Omega beams.
Okay. Oh god, that could lead into Darkest Night.
It could lead into Darkest Night, but also if they decide to just leave him dead, I would have been way more happy with that than what we're getting right now.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Because we get what, like you said, a movie, an appearance, and then whatever the hell they just made 2 years ago.
Yeah.
That I
have not seen Justice League.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
I was thinking
no.
about it today. I haven't seen it since I saw it in the theaters, like the second time. I've seen a fan edit, and I was like, "This is miles better than." And they took out like all the stupid stuff, all like the brunch joke, Flash falling on top of Wonder Woman's boobs.
I saw that on YouTube. I laughed.
Dude, it is so it's so bad.
Right.
It's awful.
Well, let's we're talking Justice League. Let's get into some more stuff that's going to be hurtful in a way.
Yes.
Kevin Smith recently said that he was able to visit Star Wars Episode 9 set. He met some people that worked on both versions, and he said originally there were Jim Lee storyboards for 3 Justice League movies, and the first was going to be similar to what we got. It probably would have ended. I think it would have ended with Darkseid looking down on them from the boom tube, and then they seeing him, and then
Because there's that behind the scenes photo of them looking at
Yeah.
something, and you're like, "What are they looking
Oh,
at?"
you're right,
And
yeah.
I'm pretty
That was
sure
in,
Snyder's confirmed.
yeah,
They're looking up the boom tube at Darkseid.
right,
Because it's like, "Who the hell is this guy?" And then close it.
right, and then the second film would the Justice League would go to space, and they'd get defeated in the end.
Can you imagine seeing them in space?
That would
That
be
would be
crazy.
so cool.
That would have been nuts.
But no.
So basically,
Yeah,
Darkseid
brunch.
makes it to
in
Earth.
space and it introduced the Green Lanterns.
Yeah, that's what was
That'd be
going to happen.
beautiful.
That's what was going to happen. They said, Darkseid ends up defeating Earth, making it like that BVS Flash Forward Bruce Saul. Lanterns were going to be featured because it's cosmic.
My one problem with that, sorry, I get that lanterns would have been featured, but they said like, oh, I'm sure you're going to get into it. We had green lights surrounding Jeremy Irons.
Yeah,
To have it be Green Lantern.
the scene where he says, "Let's hope you're not too late." Everyone's like, "Who's he talking to?"
Yeah,
yeah,
that doesn't make sense to me because the only Green Lantern we'd seen at that moment was the one at the beginning of Justice League, which we see for like 2 seconds, and we're like, okay, cool, I guess.
there is one thing that makes sense to me anyway. From what I read, was originally when Justice League ended, 2 Green Lanterns came to where Bruce Wayne was living.
No, absolutely.
So that might have been towards the end. That might have been
Right.
the end scene where "Let's hope you're not too late" for whatever. I don't know. Maybe.
But the problem with that is, that scene is on like the Blu-rays and stuff.
Yeah,
it's
like
like
a deleted scene. Yep,
But
and it's a great
Cavill's
scene.
shaped. Mm-hmm. So
Yeah,
that's not
true.
a reshoot.
That's true. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if initially it was going to be Green Lantern, I can kind of understand that it was going to be that at first. But that's where he kind of lost me because I'm like, I don't know if your sources are that strong then. Because like everything else made sense, but then that I was like, that's weird. Because
Well-
if they put such an emphasis on hope, it means hope on his chest.
Yeah.
Like that's the entire point that they've been driving home throughout this entire series. Why would he put such an emphasis on hope? Why would we care if we haven't seen that many Green Lanterns? I would lose my mind if I saw if that was how it played out and it was a Green Lantern. I'd be like, oh my god! But that doesn't make sense to me.
Or they shot both scenes. They shot
Sure.
one where we could make this a Green Lantern scene, and they shot another one where it's a Superman scene, and
Sure.
we'll put hope in there, him saying that.
Yeah, makes total sense.
But if
I can
they,
see Zach doing that.
Yeah, if they would have ended with
Clever
like
bastard.
how they said with Green Lanterns visiting at the end of Justice League, Iron's outside working on the car, I could totally see that scene work.
But they said from what I heard, they said they visited Bruce. They didn't visit Alfred.
Oh, you're right,
They
yeah,
visited Bruce
yeah.
in like the middle of the night. Or
Yeah,
something.
and green screen, green lights, those are probably things you can easily change into whatever reflection
Yeah.
you want. So I get that. I mean, these are people. I mean, I think his sources are legit. I think.
No, I'm not saying.
Right.
Yeah.
From their point of view, though, it's like pre-production, so they don't have anything to do with post.
Mm-hmm.
So those green lights, they probably didn't know what they meant, but they're like, they were green lights,
Yeah.
and that's how it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, the third one was going to conclude with Darkseid on Earth. They were going to defeat him, hopefully, I would imagine. But yeah, it just sucks we didn't get that. It went from 3 movies to 2, and then to 1. Because WB panicked, and they,
Well, WB probably should have started everything off right to begin with, like Marvel did. Yeah, you're late into the game. Doesn't matter. Let's start building origin stories.
yeah. And I got at the time what they're trying to catch up. I totally understand. You know, that's the problem. Avengers came out, and then you had, we got to do that. We can't wait.
You're way too late in the game for this. Mm-hmm. So just start from the beginning and build your story right. Yeah.
Right. But at the same time, I feel like it's weird to look at it as like a game because like 20 years down the road, we're going to be in a new... I feel like we're going to be in a new era of superhero movies.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to build off the continuity that like Iron Man set 10 years ago.
No.
I think it'll be, Marvel
will
be doing their own thing.
Yeah, they'll want room to do other things.
Yeah, absolutely.
It'll tie them down.
And they're always adding new comic book characters to begin with. So, you have Ironheart now, the gal, the girl who built her own Iron Man suit.
Yeah.
Which I think that's where they're going to go, maybe.
There's all kinds of stuff. And who knows? Maybe 20 years down the road, they're like, let's do Squirrel Girl.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
But like, okay, so you know about Zack Snyder's like 5-part story arc, right?
I think so, yeah.
So
does that include all the films he did?
It was gonna be Man of Steel, BVS, Justice League, Man of Steel 2, and then I think Justice League 2 or something like that.
Okay.
I feel like that would have been such a good start to the universe because like, yeah, you could do the origin stories, but I feel like, so Man of Steel started and you're like, wow, starting off with this like alien, it's like, and then we get to Batman, who's like, wow, we have an alien. Then we have an Aquaman. We have a Flash. Who else is out there? I feel like that could be like, it could be like the Big Bang, pretty much of superhero movies.
Okay.
Not just like
they come together and then they go their separate ways for their own movies.
A little bit, but also it could be a lot quicker than Iron Man did because Iron Man, that happened, and then Fury was like, "I'm putting together a team."
That was after the credits.
You're like, "That's cool," and then Incredible Hulk, and then it was such a slow burn that you're like, "Wow, this is so worth it." But then flip it, and I think DC, if they did like what I think they were going to do, is to start like I said, this big bang of like, boom, now all this stuff's out here, this stuff's out here, these characters, Green Lantern, blah, all this stuff. I thought that would have been such a great idea,
right?
And because if Zack Snyder, did Justice League 2, ended there, he was done with the universe. WB could do whatever they wanted with those characters, and they kind of are with like Shazam, the new Wonder Woman's coming out. That's just my thing.
Yeah.
Thinking
No, I
on
get
it.
it.
Like,
I get it, and I really, this is probably something. Yeah, this is fantasizing. Probably.
Go for it.
Okay, I'm really hoping Shazam, we're still gonna get a Superman cameo. They're gonna surprise us with that, and I almost hope that the Matt Reeves, we're gonna get an Affleck cameo. He's like looking back at where he came from, and that's when we go to the younger Batman. That's what I'm hoping for. And like you said, if you do that, then if you ever do a sequel to Justice League or kind of revamp a Justice League, kind of like what James Gunn's going to do with Suicide Squad, I imagine. Like a light
don't
reboot.
get me started on that.
That would lead into, you could bring Batman or Ben Affleck back and have a satisfying
Can you imagine
ending.
getting Affleck, like, just seeing him? People would scream. People
so.
would scream in the theater.
I think that Shazam cameo, if we get that Superman after all, that would be awesome.
That actually makes sense because Billy Madison or whatever, the one who as Shazam is as a kid,
Billy Batson.
Batson, yeah.
Billy Madison's the Adam Sandler.
Sorry, but Billy,
that's a movie.
He idolizes Superman.
Yeah.
So when he becomes Shazam, everything he does, well, what would Superman do? Only he's doing things a little differently because there's more innocence in him.
If we get
that would make
Cavill,
total sense. And I don't like the look of Shazam. I don't like the suit doesn't look right.
Have you seen the latest trailer though?
No.
There's a scene where he jumps off the building and it's amazing. He yells Shazam and then lightning strikes him and it's like a cloud and the symbol reflects into that cloud and he just flies through it. It looks amazing.
The first one I saw, he didn't. The guy looked fake. The whole he didn't look like he should have those muscles, so on and so forth. I wasn't a fan of it. However, I think it would be really neat to have the cameo because that's how he is in the comics. You know, he didn't just have him fanboy. So here's this superhero starting off, and he defeats some villain. Superman comes in, and just to watch this big burly muscly guy go, "Oh my God, you know who you are," you know, and I think that would be hilarious. As for the idea with Batman looking back, that'd be neat to start off as he's sitting in the Batcave and he looks over at a picture of the old house, and it zooms into the house and goes back in time,
or not even starting off, end the movie,
or into like that as it comes back into a house into a photo,
and don't even say Ben Affleck's in it. I know that would be hard to keep that a secret because like the internet being what it is these days, and like you'd probably have to put his name in. I can't think of like any movie where they've kept someone's name out of like the title card.
Yeah.
Or at least
They've done it once or twice, but
Have
that's
they?
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
if they could pull it off with that, that'd be great.
Yeah, as long as they pay him, who
And
cares?
just at the very end of it, just have him sitting in the chair and just kind of just slightly smile that half smile he does, and then end of the movie.
And yeah.
And that would be great. That would be even better.
And so again, I'm feel like a hypocrite because I'm thinking, and it's not going to be what I want it to be. But so you end it with him looking out, or like him looking at the picture or whatever, and then he's like in that penthouse or whatever that he was in BVS.
Yeah.
It like slowly zooms out, so we're outside the window pane, and then you see reflected the bat signal, and he looks up, and he just like dashes away or whatever.
That'd be
cool.
even better.
Because then that could be like, yeah, he's not done.
Yeah. Oh, that would be great.
Or
Yeah.
do that as the cuts, the after credit scene.
Right.
That would really piss, because half the people are going to get up and leave.
Yeah.
So the people who do stick around just to see if there's something there, then they're going to go home. You're not going to believe who's after the credits. And
Or
people
no,
are
don't
like, what?
don't do it on the reflection. You like show him smiling, and then you like turn it around and you back out, so like you see him from behind.
Yeah.
And then it pops up, and then he dashes away, and then it zooms in on that picture, and then it's over.
Or like
Yeah.
it
I
gets
don't know.
lowered, like
Yeah.
his silhouette, and it gets lowered down to the cave. Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then he pulls out the Visa and he goes, "Never leave the cave without it."
Yeah.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Yeah, well, like I said, WB, they're moving forward, so
Yeah.
Let's see. Maybe we'll get surprised. I hope so. But
If we get a Cavill and The Rock cameo and
Yeah.
Shazam, I told my friend they're gonna have to cart me out of the theater because I'm gonna be a wreck.
He's not.
clean up.
The Black Adam's not going to be in this one.
If he is, they're keeping it very secret. The villain is Dr. Savannah. If you look at Dr. Savannah, like they've released his toys and stuff, he's got this black blazer or like a suit coat or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like in a V like this, and his shirt is gold. So it looks like Black Adam. I don't know if it's like him in disguise or if he has like, because I think in the comics he takes on Black Adam's powers, because you see him in the trailer, he's flying and got the lightning and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
So if at some point, like, because it's like he keeps the 7 deadly sins in that eye. If Black Adam's like hiding in there, or if like he like pops out at the end of the movie or like in the end of the credits, that'd be so good for me.
Yeah.
Honestly. Okay, that's all. We can go into Hobbs and Shaw.
All right, Hobbs and Shaw. Trailer was released. What are you thinking?
I am excited for it. I love the ridiculousness of the Fast and Furious universe.
Yeah.
I also love how they've gone from like, yeah, they were stealing VCRs or DVD players from the truck in the first 10 minutes of the first movie, and they were doing street races, to now in the last one, The Rock like threw a missile or whatever, or he like guided it with his hand. But I love that. I love how ridiculous it is, like the crazy stunts they have to pull off.
So it went from Grand Theft Auto to what the hell is the movie?
Not even Grand Theft Auto, like Midnight Club or whatever.
Or to like
All those racing
what
games.
The
the-
Marvel movie.
No, like the Saints, the one with the guys in the
Boondock
purple-
Saints?
No, the video game.
Oh, all Saints Row.
Saints. So it went from
Oh,
Grand
yeah.
Theft Auto to Saints Row. Is that what I'm hearing?
Pretty much. Like they do some ridiculous stuff, like the whole parachuting the cars out of a plane onto the road, or like
Oh, so much craziness.
it's
Driving
so,
Lamborghinis
but it's
through
so
buildings.
awesome. You're just like that's great.
They're live action cartoons. That's
No, absolutely.
basically what they are.
And like
yeah.
I totally get that what they do is again comical, and it's
Yeah.
just like what, but also at the same time it's like this is awesome because you can tell like the people like doing it, they love what they're doing because they're like, yeah, I'm not really driving this car through the tallest building in Abu Dhabi, but it feels like I am, and it's going to look like I am, so that's pretty cool. And now you got The Rock and Jason Statham, who have like such great chemistry in those movies. Again, they like kind of hate each other. It's kind of like, I mean, they play the song "Why Can't We Be Friends" in the trailer.
They're very competitive too.
Yeah, they're very
The
competitive
badassery-
with each other.
yeah.
There's that scene of The Rock's rappelling down the
Yeah,
building.
that, I like
And
that scene. I mean,
Statham goes, all right, ready? 1, 2,
Yeah.
3, dude.
He's
Rock
like,
jumps out and
"Bye."
Statham walks, waves, and gets in the elevator.
I mean, realism is totally out the window. He grabs that
So is
cable
The Rock.
with bare hands.
The Rock's out the window.
Right, yeah. Well, yeah. And The Rock's just like, hey, like this.
He's following and he punches that dude, and he
like-
grabs on another one.
And he's able to look at Statham at the same time with all the wind and stuff. But I like how he hits the elevator glass and he
Flips him the bird.
fuck you.
Yeah, he just says, fuck you.
Like it's entertaining. I think it's just I don't know. I'm still kind of like it's so bonkers. Like I just don't know. Yeah, it's just I don't know what to think. Like Idris Elba is basically Captain America. Like they start out like I remember the first shot with the helicopter. I'm like, okay, this might be very real or whatever. And then all of a sudden, Idris gets ejected with whatever, and then he's like, I'm bulletproof, and he's punching through.
But that's so
I'm like,
smart.
what the hell?
Because, like I said in the last one, The Rock's throwing missiles. Who's going to beat The Rock? Oh, you give him, like, pretty much immunity? Yeah, he can beat The Rock. And he does. He, like, throws him against that tank or whatever the hell.
I think I could accept the whole Fast and Furious series, you know, because it started with realism. If they were at some point injected with like superhuman strength or whatever and became gods. Well, that's not really a stretch,
it's a movie, though.
I know, but it's just it feels like
I admit I've never seen a Fast and Furious movie.
Yeah.
You're
never
in for a treat.
Yeah, they've never appealed to me. However, no racing movies ever appealed to me. However, this looks entertaining because it doesn't look like a racing movie to me, and it's almost like it's kind of like what Hancock was to superhero movies. You're taking a superpowered villain.
I was just thinking about that. Yeah, actually,
throwing two guys who obviously do not like each other, but are good at their jobs against him. So now these two guys are the underdogs against a supervillain.
right. Yeah,
And it looks entertaining. I think I will eventually. I'll see it one way or the other.
I dig the report. It's weird though. Like, okay, Statham's character killed Han. I mean, you don't know who that is, David. But
that's been lost upon, I think, the continuity.
yeah,
I
it's
think
like
he just fell into the
how are we okay
because
with
in the
this
last
guy
one
now?
because in the last one they were like working with him. And it's like,
and he's like
so he
humorous.
killed, and then the movie moved on without me. And I'm
know.
like, okay, here we go, whatever.
But the last scene of the trailer, I enjoyed. It reminded me of a Tango and Cash moment where they're both like taunting the bad guy and getting tortured. There's a similar scene in Tango and Cash.
Oh, you
So
had
that's
to
what kinda
open your
reminds
mouth.
me-
I thought it would be funny
Yeah,
at the
so
time.
that's what this feels like. It's like a modern day Tango and Cash, but with a lot of cartoonism.
Yeah,
That's
like
the thing-
actually,
that's the
it
thing.
does.
If you
Yeah.
look at it, it's just like it's an action movie. Fast Five was a heist movie, but with cars. So if you look at that, if you look at like all these movies, like it's this type of action movie, but they're in cars. It's like that's their superpower, pretty much, is cars.
Right. I guess
Not the
I just
movie
have to
Cars.
accept that, and I mean, I kind of have. You know, I don't go into these movies thinking like this is going to be an art piece.
No, absolutely not.
But yeah, I mean, I'm sure it'll make $1 billion. I don't imagine it not. So
It's
yeah,
The Rock.
You'll be there, right?
Oh, yeah,
Do we
with
know when
bells
it's coming
on.
out? That's one thing I didn't.
Summer, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, that's a good time to do that.
Cool.
All right. Well, I think that's all we got for now. We'll be back. I'm Josh.
I'm Joey,
I'm David.
and I'm Batman. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.